Hello everybody, my name is Al DiPaolo and I'm the Partner Products Manager, and today I wanted to pick up on the F1 race car series. In the first video I showed how to create a boundary and generate some toolpath on this part. In this video what we're going to do is show how to cut the same part but using a rotary axis or an indexer to index the part. So if we look at it, there's three different faces we need to machine on. We need to machine on this face, so we'll need to index to this face. We'll call that side 1. We need to index to the top, we'll call that the top, and then we need to index to the second face over here, so we'll call that side 2. Alright, now we've already run our stock wizard and we've set up our 0. In this case you can see the 0 is set on the center top of this part. When we're doing a rotary axis, we want to zero the part on the center line. That's typically the easiest way to do this. So I'm going to edit my 0 position and pick my origin, and in this case it's going to be on the center of our stock, and I will align our x-axis and align our y-axis and just flip our y direction, so you can see that our 0 is the center of this stock here, which would be right on our axis of rotation. Okay, so anytime you're working with your fourth axis, you're going to need to establish a face that you want to machine on from the start. So before we do any machining, we're going to load in an index system. So we're going to do add index. Now when you load in an index, you have a couple of options as far as to select what you're going to rotate to. So if we right click on index system and we choose reselect, you can see it says pick a surface, or you also have the option to pick a UCS. Now at this point I haven't set up any surfaces, and I also haven't set up any user coordinate systems to pick for my faces to index to. So that's what I want to do next. Now there is a trick that I want to show you. I'm going to run my stock wizard, and I'm going to go to this setup right here, the machine setup, and you can see there's this bounding box. That bounding box is actually very useful to use the wireframe that's there, but as soon as you finish the machine setup, it goes away. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually save this file at this point, and we're going to just close it real quick, and then we're going to open this file back up. And what that will do is save that wireframe geometry that was there. That's very useful, and we're going to use this for setting up our different coordinate systems. Now in this case you can pick a surface to index to, but in this case I'm going to create user coordinate systems for each of my different setups. So I'm going to right click, add new UCS. We're going to use 3 points. I'm going to grab this center point here, this point, and that point, and you can see that's now created a user coordinate system for that plane. This one we're gonna rename this, and we'll call this side 1. Okay, now we're going to create another one. This is going to be for the top, so we're going to use 3 points. We're going to select this point, and this point here, and this one we're going to rename, and we'll call this top. And then we're going to add another one based on, again, 3 points. Okay, so we're going to do 3 points. We'll select this one, and this one, and this one is going to be renamed to side 2. Alright, so at this point we now have the 3 different user coordinate systems for each of the faces that we want to index to. Okay, now you may be concerned as far as where this index location is. Really the only thing we're worried about is the orientation of Z. Where it is in X and Y to that face is not going to affect how the programming is done. Okay, so now that we're in here and we go to our index system, this is the first index system. The first thing we want to do is rotate to this face here. So we're going to right click on this, we're going to choose reselect, And then we could pick a surface, but I didn't create any, so we're going to use pick a UCS, and then there's a drop box here, and we'll go to side 1. Okay, and then we'll choose OK. So now at this point, when we click on the index system, you can see that the arrow is pointing up. That means that would be the Z direction. So we have now indexed to this face here. Okay, so now that we've done that, what I'm going to do is just a little cleanup here. I'm going to create a new layer called wireframe. I'm going to select the yellow geometry, and I'm going to move that geometry from the CAD layer to the wireframe layer. Okay, so that way I can turn that on and off. Okay, so now from here, what I want to do is I just want to generate a planar toolpath, similar to what we used in the first video, to go back and forth and to machine the part. So we're going to right click on this, choose mill 3-axis. Slice planar is the one that we want to use. Now again, I could load this from the beginning, but I should have a saved feature in here. I believe I do, and one of these should be called F1. Here it is, slice planar F1. So what that will do is preload all of the settings that I used in the previous strategy. From here, I just want to select my geometry, so I right click on geometry, reselect, select all, spacebar, and then I'm going to just go ahead and compute this. Now, one of the things that you'll notice is it's going to generate toolpath on the model. Let me just turn down the transparency of my stock. It's going to generate the toolpath on the model, but it hasn't gone out to the edge of the part, okay, or to the edge of the stock. Now, I do have the ability to edit some options here, so I could say part bottom and recompute, but what that's going to do is just cut down to the bottom of the part. But it's not going to cut out to the stock boundary. So I want to add some additional geometry at this point to have it machine out to the edge of the stock. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up that wireframe geometry that we generated before, and I'm going to generate a planar surface, and I'm just going to click on these 4 edges here, and then spacebar and spacebar. So now I've generated a surface down on the bottom here. What I want to do is I want to add that surface to my selection, spacebar, and then recompute. And now by adding that surface, the toolpath is going to follow that surface, and it's going to cut out to the edge of the stock, which is what I wanted. Now, on this first cut here, you know, the tool is rapiding down right on the edge of the part, and then it's coming along. We may want to add a lead in and lead out, so we can go to leads. We could say a horizontal lead in, give it some value, and recompute, and then now you'll see the tool will start off the part. It will start off the part, and then it's going to come back and forth and clean up this area. Okay, so now we've done the one index side. What we want to do is come over and we want to do the next index side. Okay, so I'm just going to turn off this surface here, and I'll turn off the wireframe level for just a moment. I also want to blank out my toolpath so it's not visible at this point, so I'll blank that out. And now I want to create another index system, so I'm going to right click, insert index, right click, reselect. Again, we're going to pick from a UCS, and this is going to be side number 2, and then we'll choose OK. All right, so now when we click on our index system, this blue arrow comes up that shows us which face we're orientated to. So we're going to repeat the process that we established in the first index. So we want to go to our wireframe level, surface, planar. We want to add in our planar surface here, spacebar, spacebar, cancel. I'm going to go to this slice planar feature, save, and we're going to call this F1 cut. Save, because I did make some adjustments to it, so I want to use those adjustments. So I'll right click on my index system. We're going to go to load feature. This is F1 cut. Click open. We want to select all our geometry, spacebar, and then we want to come back and compute. And now you'll see that we have the toolpath generated on the next setup. So the first setup here, we machined on this side. Here, let me take this surface here and move it over to this layer. Okay, so on the first setup, we machine the first side. When we're done with that, the indexer will rotate and we've machined the second side. So the last thing we want to do is machine from the top. So what we'll do is just load another index system. We're going to reselect, pick UCS. We're going to go to top, click OK. Now we want to generate a surface here again for the bottom here. So we're going to generate surface planar. Again, this surface is being used to control how far out the toolpath is generated. We're going to go ahead and load our F1 cut. We'll select all of our geometry, and then we'll go ahead and compute our toolpath. So in this example, we have 3 different indexes, the first side, the second side, and then the top, and we're using a planar toolpath to move back and forth over the part to cut this out. Stay tuned for future videos. The next video we're going to show how to use the rotary toolpath for this part, and appreciate you joining in. If you have any questions or comments, please reply back in the thread or on the YouTube page or on the Facebook page. Thank you so much, guys.